do not take it. Can everyone, just take a moment, those who are coming in live before we get started, and those who are in our Zoom room, those who are YouTube as well as Facebook, just type in why you're grateful. We're going to start with that today. Why you're grateful, because so many times we can get so overwhelmed with life and what is not right, what's not going on, what should be going on that isn't going on. And I heard the Holy Spirit say last night to focus on gratitude. It's so important for us to focus on gratitude. And if we can just type in very quickly about uh, about gratitude. Just type in something very quickly, if you may. It would just really bless my life. Bless yours as well. As far as gratitude is concerned, why, and if you can, not so much why, just one or yeah, why your gratitude, what you're grateful for. I believe this helps with your day, my day, our day. It really, really do help in that regard, and understanding how good God has been to you. So many things in life can take from us. And I just feel the need to surmise before we even get started. If we can type in the comment, or if you can, good morning, Letitia. Can you just type why you're grateful, what you're grateful for, even as you come on to our social media? Just take a moment, in spite of all that's going on in our lives. Take a moment and say why you're grateful, what you're grateful for. It will be such a blessing to yourself. So many times it's easy to become so despondent or upset about things, and we can go to bed. I'm grateful for God's grace and life. All right. I'm grateful for God's grace and life too. We'll find that we have a lot that's in common. Yes. Can you just type why you're grateful? Yes. New chances I get every day. Thank you, Ron. That is powerful. Um, and you can keep while during this whole session today. We're going to continue to deal with the empath versus the narcissist, and I believe that I tapped into something major here because I'm hearing about it a lot. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback, and people coming to me, inboxing me, calling me, texting me, telling me that this topic has been weighted on their in their spirit, in their heart, and this is something that they go through a lot with, being around people who are narcissistic and don't really realize they have narcissistic traits and tendencies, and how to curb that and how to challenge that, how to deal with that. We want to talk about it because this is something that prayer can change. However, we want the people to understand the power. Our platform is set up so that you, the individual, can see you, can deal with your traits. Is this me? You know how it is when you test your breath. Have you ever had to test your breath, Yolanda, Letitia? You had to put your hand over your mouth? Have you ever had to test your breath by putting your hand over your mouth? And you're like, oh my goodness. You ever had one of those moments, Ron? I know I can't speak for you, but I know there are moments when I had to legitimately, like, oh my God, what's going on in there? I know y'all wonderful people and you don't have that type of issues or problem, but some people do, you know. I'm being funny, but I'm being real at the same time. As you come on our social media page, please hit the share button. It's going to help you help somebody else. All right. Uh, all right, so there are people who are challenged really, really bad with people who are narcissistic or have narcissistical traits and commonalities and tendencies, and don't know they are influenced by, and governed by, if I may, their narcissistical ways. I want to approach that. How do we handle this? How do we deal with this? This is a very, very, very trying time because I'm say it because we are in an hour and in a day where we are celebrating. It's a celebratory season. We're moving into 7 major events. I call major because they're major to many of us who are Christians and many of us who live in this country, many of us who grew up in the communities that we grew up in and around. And those 7 major events are number one, that's going to take place tomorrow, which is Thanksgiving. Number two, Christmas. Number three, New Year's. Hey, good morning to you. Number three, these are 7 major events that we are about to evolve in and take part in, and it starts at the end of the year. I want to say this too, also, that about a month ago, it's like clockwork because this country that we live in and the time and seasons, God had given me to pay keen attention to times and seasons. I'm called to the heart and the mind. Just to let you know, I'm called to the heart and the mind. Tisha, I'm called to that. Charmaine. That's why I'm here in your life. I'm called to your heart and your mind. Those who I specifically understand my call. I understand my vocation. I understand my purpose. I understand why I exist, why I'm here in this time and in this season. I'm called to the heart and the mind of the individual person or persons, regardless of your race, regardless of your creed, regardless of your color, regardless of who you are. I'm called specifically to your heart and your mind. I found my purpose years ago. I understand why I exist. I can't talk about any other pastor, any other man, any other person, any other role that people play. I can't talk about their specific role, but I understand the Holy Spirit gave me my assignment, and it's specifically to the heart and the mind of people, regardless of your race, creed, color, regardless of your social status, your political status, your cultural status, your educational status, your financial status, um, your gym status, your weight status. I don't care what status you have evolved to or walking in. I have a I have a clear understanding or clear understanding. God gives me understanding, just as God gave Joseph understanding and particulars pertaining to what was going on in the dreams of the Pharaoh. He gave Daniel the understanding of what was going on in Nebuchadnezzar in that seasons. God had given me to understand how the mental heart and the mental mind works. And I'm learning and I'm evolving as I grow. Blessings to you, Pastor. Blessings to you. I'm learning and I'm evolving as I grow. But however, I have some experience already. I'm gaining some knowledge on it. So when we talk about the heart and mind is your 2 most valuable possessions that you have. I don't care who you are on the earth. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, if you're a socialist or if you're conservative. I don't care what status you are holding. If you're an apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, teacher, deacon, saint, or friend. If you're an imam or if you're a rabbi. I don't care. It does not matter what status you hold. Your heart and mind is connected to life, to living. It's connected to everything that's connected to you, that you know, that you love, that you hold near and dear to you. The heart and mind is affected by it. All right. Everything in life is affected by your heart and mind. Your heart and mind touches everything that you need, everything that you understand, everything that you've learned, everything that every bill in your house, every piece of item that you've picked out and brought into your kitchen. Your kitchen utensils are different from what's in your living room. Your living room is different from what's in the bathroom. All of those particulars from what's in the bedroom, It's every little detail has a purpose. You have wisdom and knowledge connected to every detail. Everything that you purchase, every food, every ingredient, whatever it is your heart and mind was involved in. Not maybe more, your heart wasn't involved in, or, but in a lot of different things. All right. So I'm saying that to say that is the fundamental of why this platform is established. We are redefining it as we grow, as we go. Unpack has combined with this. This is the Unpack Mental Healthness to Wellness session. I purposely uh, uh, make hellness in small words, wellness in all caps. That's intentional because we want wellness in your mind and in your heart. And so we have to deal with the issues of the heart. We have to deal with the issues of the mind. We have to bring them up. There are a lot of social platforms now that are highlighting these issues, whether it's with relationships, whether it's with our culture, whether it's political. Those are major topics. But in this season, about the beginning of October, the end of September, there's a cycle of depression that begins. In this season, from the beginning of October, as we leave summer going into fall, this is a cycle of major depression that comes on because of the upcoming events. It begins early. And I want you to understand that we are keen to it. This is why when we look at certain algorithms when it comes to drugs pertaining to prescribed drugs pertaining to getting up, walking, and moving throughout the day, the psychiatrists of these particular drug companies know that this is a season where people are going to be depressed because they don't have money or they don't have honey. They don't have things in their life that they would normally have or other people have, right? And so this is why social media at times can be dangerous because you can look at somebody's life and say, I want that. Oh, I wish I had that. Oh, I wish I had what she had. Oh, I wish I had what he had. Oh, and then that's when the entrance of depression comes even more. I talked about this past week, and I want you to, those who can, go back and replay our last Unpack Monday night. We talked about holiday depression, holiday slash event depressions. And we brought this topic up because the narcissistic person in your life does not care or even concerned about you being the empath, what you go through, what you have to manage through, what you have to scale back, what you sacrifice for others. They don't understand it. And so we're going to give you tools before we start, before we end rather, on how to manage this, how to go about this, how to manage you. This is not about, when I put in the caption, the topic, narcissist or the empath versus narcissist, not as in a fight. We're going to help you understand who you are. All right, if that makes sense, and give you valuable tools on how to manage you. This is not about the other person. Anytime you want to manage somebody else's mind, God help her mind. Lord, we come against her mind. Lord, fix his mind, Lord. You are going into a sacred space. You're asking God to invade a sacred space in someone. You're asking God to some degree. We can argue, we can talk, we can apologetically talk about it, um, to fix somebody because you can't. Most people in many desperate situations, and they go to some of the methodologies that they know of. They'll go to a witch doctor, a root worker, to get somebody's mind to be manipulated. I want him to love me, her to love me. I want revenge, all these particulars. So they'll go and they'll delve into other aspects of dark things or other aspects of a practice, right? Because the person who's practicing that don't think it's dark, right? That's their religion, that's their faith. We, however, as believers of Christ, we trust that the Holy Spirit will show us ourselves. We trust that the whole armor of God is placed over our lives. We trust that we are covered and protected, and no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and every tongue that rises up against us in judgment, we shall condemn. That's what we trust. As you come on, hit that share button. But I want to now peel back and give clarity and understanding to this season that we're in. This is a depressing time. And someone for the first time in their life is experiencing Thanksgiving, Christmas, that's number two, New Year's, number three, um, uh, Valentine's Day, number four, Resurrection Day, Easter, number five, Mother's Day, and Father's Day, six and seven. Seven major back to back to back to back to back to back events or observances where someone for the first time is going to be without someone that was once significantly in their life or in a different season of their life, right? Experiencing grief, whether it's the first time having Thanksgiving without a job, first time having Thanksgiving downsizing and didn't have your own apartment, your own house, whatever it was, whatever loss someone has occurred, the narcissistic person does not care about that person and their loss. All right. All right. So I want to talk about a few things pertaining to what goes on, how to manage you. The narcissistic person, the person who is in operating on that dominant personality disorder. It's a personality trait. Narcissism or a narcissistic person, again, it is a personality trait. It is something that they've evolved to without accountability, or they were helped to evolve to that place because they were always handed, entitled, given something. They cry, they get it. They moan, they get it. They whimper, they get it. That person was bred, was homegrown, was grown in that, and many lights in that. So we want you to understand how it evolves, because when you understand how it mutates, right, you can further understand how to deal with it, right? That's why the epidologist, I believe that's what Dr. Fauci is, the person who studies these particular airborne pathogens and disease. I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me on it. I remember the exact name of it because I sold a car to one. And we were talking about it at that time during COVID. But that person who understands how things mutated, where it mutates from, all right, how it expanded, how it expounded, how it grew, right? This is why we're taught even now to put your hand over your mouth when you cough, when you sneeze, when you yawn, right? All these particulars, not to touch doorknobs or wash your hands immediately because the hands carry the most germs. I was talking to somebody during COVID, and I'll never forget that one of the kids who were in kindergarten came home with a different mask on because it had a superhero mask, and they were swapping. The kids were swapping masks because they thought the masks were the coolest. Oh boy. But that's what kids do. We expect that from kids. But we as adults, we're in the same frame because we'll take up gossip, we'll take up somebody's misery, somebody's mishap, and we'll exchange it, right, with amongst ourselves or in our cliques, our crews, our clan. We'll listen to gossip all day. That's on the shade room. That's on all these other minds that are out here that spew it, right? So when we talk about this season, depression is here. Even though it's in the midst of peace on earth, goodwill toward man, it's here. There's some people who are challenged. The empath person is around people, Charmaine, who is constantly taking from them and taking advantage of them. Some people don't note or realize. Now, I'm going to say something this is about you, the empath person, the person who is, this is about you. If they don't change, fine. If people around you do not change their way or do not, that's fine. Your job is not to fix them. You're not fixing anyone. I want to tell you this now. And this goes to every area of your life, whether you're dealing with an empath, whether you're dealing with a husband who isn't, or a wife who isn't, a brother or a sister who's not narcissistic, whoever, whatever state, you're not here on earth to fix no one. This is about you managing you. I want you to get this in your spirit. When I learned, even as a pastor, I'm not fixing nobody. Woo! It was another level of deliverance and healing and breakthrough and release and relief. Release and relief. It was another level. I don't have to fix that. You mean to tell me I didn't have to fix? All this time I'm trying to fix this and I didn't have to? Ugh. My objective, your objective, is to work on you. That's it. You are backdated. We are, listen, we're behind when it comes to healing ourselves. We're behind. But that's okay. We have a grace on us that gives us the ability to see ourselves and now go to those areas in ourselves, right? That we've heard before, or we may not have heard before, that has been covered and layered of lifing, layer of years and years. As I said earlier, the narcissistic person mutated to it. That personality kept growing. They had help. Mhm. They had help because they were either majorly entitled growing up, spoiled. Remember that word? You know what spoiled mean? When someone is spoiled, Charmaine, Pastor Letitia, you know what that means, right? Saran, when someone is just spoiled, you spoiled them. They're rotten. They whine. They get their way. That person is spoiled. So many times that person continues to grow. Hey, Asante, that person continues to grow in that vein. That person continues to grow in a spoiled way. An entitled person, many times, we're giving a whole lot. We're giving a whole lot of different things. They had things given to them, and so they became entitled, right? Emboldened in their way. They became that, they evolved, they mutated to that, right? And the person who did not get a whole lot or who had to watch themselves be treated second class, or mom, dad didn't give them, they overlooked them. Yeah, we deal with that. And then they eventually evolve and come to themselves. So now here's the contrast. That person now has picked his or herself up, have done good and done and established themselves. Now their biggest trainer is themselves. Their biggest voice is themselves. Their loudest voice is themselves. And that's the danger. That's the backdrop, or the opposite of someone who's spoiled is someone who was once the ugly duckling who have become Prince or Princess Charming, right? And they did it, and we applaud it, right? However, their cockiness, their arrogance, their in many cases, they don't see it, or they don't understand that they've evolved to that. They mutated to that, where they become nasty, critical, overly critical. If I did it, you can do it. Nobody did it for me. Why? Yeah, I had to pick my own self up. Mom didn't help me. Mom helped you. Dad didn't help me. And so that's where the family contentions. And we talked about one of my favorite systems theory. I love talking about family systems theory, right? We'll talk about that another time. But we see these particular traits in this, and this gives us that systems theory, family system theory gives us an understanding on how and when we can trace stuff back. I love going back to why. Anything mechanically that's broken, we trace back so we don't have to replace it. We don't have to replace a whole engine if the mechanic is skilled enough to find out what's going on, right? There are times we waste time and money centering in on things that only to find out that we replaced something that we didn't have to replace. We paid for something that we didn't have to pay for, because the person who we thought was skilled to help fix or remedy the problem did not do it. There are people who go home after leaving the doctors and their condition gets worse because the doctors send them home. The ED sends them home with a small prescription to just get some rest, take some Tylenol when there was a much larger issue going on. And I tell everybody, anybody, listen, you demand if you feel awkward in your head or in your body, and I'm a pause here because I'm talking because I'm around this. If you feel strange in your head and in your body or in something is not right, and don't let the ED send you home. You tell them you need a CAT scan, you need further tests, demand it. I mean, demand it. Stay there, get not rude or rowdy, but demand it, or go to your primary doctor and demand them, tell them you need an MRI. I know they're expensive, but so many people I've seen conditions grew worse because they were sent home prematurely. Demand certain more testings. Demand, is there any way you can look further into this, whether it's you're advocating for yourself or for your loved one? You demand that. If any event, and this has nothing to do with mental health, the wellness, but at the same time, it does. All right. You demand them to give you, and I ain't talking about, I'm not saying being rude, shrewd, but if you have to go through a primary to get a certain test done because you're having headaches and you can't figure out what it is, and Tylenol is not helping you, get it further checked out. Get it, please. Do you have rights? You can ask them for this, however long it takes. If you have to stay there all day, fine, I'll wait till something opens up. But I need further testing. Is there anywhere else you can send me so I can get this tested today? So I can get this looked at. That's how serious it is. All right. That's how serious. And many people are being undiagnosed or limited diagnosed because they want to send you home and get you out and get their senses down. I get it. But the reality is you are a human being and you deserve full autonomy to any medical procedure that's necessary, if possible, just to locate what's really going on. All right. And it may not be nothing, but I'd rather be safe. You finish it. All right. It's important for you to understand that because I see people get sent home prematurely. I see it all day, every day, only for them to come back and then they get stuff done. Mm-mm. All right. So I just went off on a tangent because I see it and I'm very adamant about that. All right. So now let's go to what we've been talking about, the the empath versus the narcissistic person. The person, and again, this narcissism is a personality disorder. It's not a mental disorder. Two totally different things. Personality disorder. They've evolved to this, right? And so people can get involved in mental disorders as well. But this is critical because the narcissist or the personality disorder is dealing with the internal process of someone, how they perceive themselves and others, right? How what goes on, right? Um, but understand this, what we had left off on and where and how the empath is viewed by the narcissistic person. And I'm talking to people right now who are moving into veins. You're going to see people tomorrow or this weekend who you haven't seen since last year in your bloodline, and there is in your family. There are reasons why you don't go around certain people. There's a reason why you're limited to conversation with certain people who are family and friends because something about them rub you the wrong way or something about you rub them the wrong way, and there are tensions in the air. The first thing I want to tell you is forgiveness is so necessary because you don't want that to linger in your heart. Forgiveness, you can forgive somebody, watch this, who didn't ask you to. That's the power of forgiveness. That's the mind and the heart. That's you releasing them. That's you removing yourself from the offense. They may still carry it. Yeah, should things be talked about and confronted? I believe so, but maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this weekend. It could have been this whole year. It could have been after last Thanksgiving, after last Christmas, after last Mother's or Father's Day, right? Because those are the days when families get together. New Year's, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Mother's Day, Father's Day, right? Families, get together. I left out Resurrection Sunday. Um, and Valentine's Day. Yeah, yeah, people do get together on Resurrection Sunday. People do go have meals, but it's more commonly around Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and Mother and Father's Day when family get together for celebratory practices and observances and whatnot. So that's why family get together. And so I'm picking up because there are times family conflict happens around these particular days. There are times people like, I don't want to go around auntie because she talked too much. I'm still mad about what was said. And I promise you, a lot of what the conflict in our families are going through, Ashante, a lot of what we're going through, Pastor, is half assessed. Is because of the lack of communication thereby. There is not enough. We had time from last Thanksgiving up until now. Someone is holding a beef. Someone is holding anger from last Thanksgiving. Had a whole year in between. May have seen each other spot wise and throughout the summer, may or may not. At a wedding, at another funeral, at a baby shower. I don't know. Social media. You keep tabs on your family, but don't talk to them. These are real occurrences. These are real things, right? And so, so now we are now approaching these holidays. We are approaching these observances. We are going to be around folk who there's undealt with trauma, undealt with. You're not fixing them. You're not fixing her. You're not fixing them. This is about your peace. You will go around. You will be around. You will manage you, right? You will compose you. Now, this is major because I left off on boundaries on Monday. We talked about how empaths, in many cases, don't know boundaries, don't know how to bring restraint to themselves, to what they think, what they say, what they give. I believe everything needs a boundary. A lot of things in our lives need boundaries, right? Because sometimes empaths may not realize it, that you can attempt to buy, to BUY, your way back in, to GIVE, your way back in. And that can be used as manipulation, right? And then when you don't get the thank you that you feel you should deserve, or it don't happen or turn out the way you should feel it should, there's more depression. There's more anger. There's more disgruntledness. There's more issue going on within yourself. Why didn't they? I did this. And you can become borderline, making it about you. All right. So what I need to tell you today, let's change this atmosphere because we're going to give you strength. We're going to build you up. Right. All right. Right. So because you have the gift, you can't forget your purpose, how God wired you. God wired you this way. You inspire others to rise. That's what empaths do. You inspire others to rise. That's what you do, right? Because there are times people will try to push you past your point of no return. hmm They will try to put you past. But remember, watch this. They're not breaking you. They think they are, but instead they're really building. It's motivational. When because God wired the empath the way they are. This is why your bounce back game is real. This is why you have the propensity and the ability to get back up much quicker. Because that warrior in you is not going to bow, it's not going to bend, it's not going to give up. Matter of fact, it's motivational. Because the empath isn't just dangerous, they're unstoppable. Yes. You, the empath, the one who feels, the one who absorbs, the one who senses, the one who has the ability to read a room. And not that you intentionally do it, you just happen to be there, and now stuff is drawn to you. You see it, you sense it. And it's watch this. In many cases, you know, not only are you unstoppable, but let's break the biggest lies that's floating around about empaths are being weak. You're weak people, when the reality is you're not. This is something that's everywhere. People think because you're the one who forgives first, you're the one who listens more than you speak, you're the one who feels deeply, somehow that makes you soft. That empathic person, because you're the one, watch this again, you're the one who forgives first. God wired you that way, and it's okay. You're the one who listens more and speaks less. You feel deeply, you sense it. Somehow that makes you a weak man or a weak woman or a weak person. Nah, that's not true. They confuse your kindness with compliance. They confuse your kindness is confused with compliance because you comply. They think your sensitivity means that you can't handle reality. They think because you're sensitive, you can. No, you are more thoughtful. You put more thought into what and how someone feels. That's okay. But you're going to manage you. You're not going to buy your way in. You're not going to give your way in. This is about you withdrawing and taking back your power, your authority. This is about you scaling back. And I told in one session earlier this year, we talked about renegotiating. There are times you have to renegotiate who you are, what you've been given of your time, your energy, your effort, your money, your accessibility. It's nothing wrong with renegotiating. You don't have to burn out, fried, or avoid people. Just, I can't do that this time around. No, I'm not going to be able to do it. No, 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 I can't. I can't give you this. I can't give you that amount. I can't give you anything at all. I know I said I can give you $100, but I got maybe 25 of that. I can't do it without explanation. You don't have to give people deep explanation. Just let them know. At least they know. Because I've learned when people come to me and borrow money from me and they ask me for 100 and I don't have 100 to give them. And sometimes, many times I do have it, but I already know that they still owe me money, or they're going to piece it back. PIECE it back to me. So instead, I'll offer 20. I offer 25. Now, guess what they're going to do? Because people have the tendency to ask you for money around the same time your bills are due. Can I get a witness? Okay, I'll preach to myself. So what I'll do, and what I do, I've learned to either confront them and say I can't, so that they're not keep calling me and I'm avoiding them and it's going into voicemail. No, I can't do it. Or I'll say I can't give you that, but I can give you this. If they, instead of the 100, I'm offering them 25. All right. And guess what they're gonna take? They're gonna take the 25. Now, guess what you did? You killed two birds with one stone. You gave them money, so they can't say they didn't help you. And 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna give it back when they say they're gonna give it back in many cases. So in many cases, I pay people not to ask me for money. Hey, Lena. Hey, Rob. Hey, Laverne. Cynthia. It's good to hear and see you, woman of God. Now, so the narcissistic person really have you twisted, right? Because your empathy isn't just some fluffy personality or trait. It's not just crying that is sad, or like people in the movies. Watch this. No, you are stronger, but you're going to harness your strength. You are going to manage you, right? You're not complying. even though they think you are. They confuse your kindness to compliancy. Oh God, watch this. The empath catch what others miss. You catch different tones and different energies and different interactions. You feel, you see you catch the unspoken tension. God would wire you that way, right? Right? You can sense the unspoken tension in the room with Auntie and with the two sisters, the two aunts that are not getting along. We're about to go into these holidays with some skills, with some tools, with some understanding. You're about to go around family for the first time with some superpowers. And this is called self-control. This is about you. You already have the Holy Ghost. And the Holy Spirit will use you even in a mighty way. He's a superpower that lives in us, by the way. Let me just reframe that, all right? All right. You're going in with emotional intelligence, right? Can I say this, Charmaine? Pastor? We're going in with emotional intelligence on steroids. God. Not only are you going to have emotional intelligence, I prophesy and speak this to you, you will have emotional endurance. You will endure the little snarky, cynical shots that are taken at you or your children or the season that you once was in. Because unfortunately, people, persons, places, and things, family are the most critical when it comes to seasons that they remember you being in. They'll judge you and hold you to that season, right? They'll judge you, and you're about to move with the whole armor of God on. You're not going to avoid. You're the light. You're not going to shut down the light. God created you to be the light. Somebody text that. Say, I am the light. I am the light. The light of Jesus Christ lives in you. And we're not going to let anybody, any person, any place, anything dim our lights. Right? It's the empath. God gives you the ability to walk into the room to instantly know who's hurting or who's pretending, who's angry, who's lost, who's exhausted, who's fried. And it's not for you to fix them. It's for you to be kind. That's it. It's not for you to play superhero. I've been there, done that. A lot of work. You're not picking up no strays, but you will let your light shine. You will lead them to Christ. You lead them to platforms such as this that can help them help themselves, right? This is how powerful the empath is. No one sees. No one sees what you go through, how life can make you hard. The empath, the enemy wants to make you so hard, so rigid, so callous, so broken that you don't want to give, you don't want to do. No, God wired you that way. You just have to bring boundaries. You have to manage it you better. And managing you better means that, yes, you can give when and where God leads you to. Watch this. You can give without saying a word. Your presence gives. Everybody don't like it. And some people gonna be mad because you showed up, but you're showing up different. You are showing up for you first. That's the real show up. That's the real attendance. Let's find you. Let's show up for you. Not in a narcissistic way, but in a healthy way. This, you want to be prepared, you know. I don't like walking into a dirty house. I just don't. I don't like walking into a dirty kitchen to mine. I just don't. I just ooh, the kitchen or a dirty, nasty bathroom. Ooh, I don't personally. It's nothing like walking into a prepared or a bowl is in the sink, fine. But the whole thing, all the clothes are dirty, everything is messy, bathroom is yellow everywhere, and it has a aroma to it that is unfavorable. Nothing like walking into, you took the time to prepare your intimate spaces, your intimate spaces. Your mind, your heart, those are your intimate spaces. How God wired you, your assignment. That's where you unpack. That's where you clean your tools. In military, they are always ready. These military personnel and these first responders, their tools are always stocked. The stockpile in the ambulance is always there. I watched them. I watched them put gauzes and medications back in order. I watched the restocking going on. Last time you restocked you. You took the time to reshelve you, reposition you, bring order to your mind, to your heart, so you can go here and there and get, what stuff is. Logistically, you know how and where to find it. So no one sees the fight to stay soft, right? In a world that rewards hardness, but you are fighting to maintain your peace. You're fighting the empath, right? To maintain your peace, right? And so that's what we do. That's what we do. That's how we prepare ourselves, right? They may think that we're naive, but the reality is you're just prepared. You're just mindful as the empath. God wired you that way. And the narcissist, watch this, they really, really, really will continue to herald insults. To throw, herald means to throw or to toss your way, whether it's subliminally, advertently, or inadvertently in a slick way. Somebody's going around it. You're about to go around in this season. And I gave you so much today, but you're about to go around a community, or you may choose to stay home and not do much. But guess what? That's dangerous too, because there's no accountability. And many times, again, like I often say, when you're by yourself, what happens, Ron? What happens? What happens? Anybody can tell me what happens when you're by yourself? Anybody. I can tell you, you lie to yourself. When there's no accountability to you, you can convince yourself that you're right about something that you are more than likely diabolically wrong in, because there's no accountability. There's no one else there to assess. There's no one else there. Thank you, Pastor. There's no one else there to remind you, to give you another view, another perspective, another angle. There's no one there to help you unpack what you're really feeling. There's no one there to challenge you, right? And so that's the effects of being by yourself. That's the effect. It's an effect. When you're by yourself, you legitimately lie to yourself. I've been there. And I'm still by myself on certain things. Like I that's every day throughout the week. And then I bring, a close friend, then I allow the Holy Spirit in and he'll start, no, you got to look at that this way. You got, I missed it. I didn't fully assess, fully take into all of the variables, all of the views. It's a lot of work, but you can do this. The empath, in many cases, are seen as easy targets. Yep, they're seen as easy targets. Listen, this as I get ready to close and we bring this in, you will not allow anyone to just dump baggage on you. No, no, it's not happening. You will be selective with what you decided to hear, or because sometimes, and let me just say this, there are people who don't know how to get out of their own way. And again, you're not there to fix them. But even me as a spiritual leader, I do have a level of understanding when it comes to people who are in vicious cycles and they just like hearing themselves that, and they don't plan on changing. They've conformed to where they're at. You will not get much of my time. No, not my free time. If you want to pay me for it, I'm gonna listen. I'll listen. I'll give good advice. I'll give good, but idle time, time that you can be resting, time that you can be doing something else with your life, time that you can be catching up with other things, and then to have somebody call you who's in the vicious cycle and you've given them, with permission, solid counsel. You prayed, you, am I going to be there with them and for them? Absolutely, but not my sacred space and not my sacred time. There are times, and I'm giving you the same permission. You have to really, really hear what I'm saying, right? Because there are people who are in cycles of their own who will wear you out because they're going to find somebody else to dump on. They will. They will. I'm saying this with all sincerity and with all sensitivity. You got this, right? As an empath, as the person who feels, absorbs, who senses, who discerns. Yeah, you got this. We are moving into serious seasons. And then there's a political climate nationally that's affecting the atmosphere, the tensions on our jobs, the prices in the stores, whether it's food, whether it's for clothes and entertainment, whether you shop on eBay or Amazon, regardless, things are changing drastically. All right. And so we want you to understand how to prepare yourself, how to keep yourself focused, how to manage your expectations in yourself as well as in people. It is important. Let's wind down. Let's take a moment. Um, if we can type in on the social media page as well as Zoom, one word as to how you're feeling, what's going on after hearing this that we've shared. If you want to chime in and give commentary, give a sense and add to this, please come off mute, type it in on our social media page, how this has blessed you, what's going on and with you. But if you can oblige me in this session as to put one word in the comment as to how you feel. How are you feeling with this that has been said? I didn't read what Pastor Joel said earlier, which is powerful, and I think that that's what I was trying to say earlier, Pastor. I see that he posted, right. We're living in a time prepared. I like that. Validated. Thank you, Ashante. Validated. But Pastor said something that was powerful. We're living in a day and time where you almost have to become a narcissistic or take on narcissistical traits to deal or protect oneself from another narcissist. Right. So when we talk about, that's the renegotiating part, that's the withdrawing part, that's the part that you're giving them what, no, you're protecting you. We talk about that. So thank you. And that's just another way. But you're not becoming narcissistic. Hey, Victoria, you feel uplifted. Thank you. That made my day. Um, uh, thank you for that, Pastor. Someone put they're grateful, they're hopeful, they're prepared, they feel validated. Thank you. Someone also said they feel uplifted. It's nice knowing you're not crazy. Isn't that good? It's nice knowing that you can retreat. Jesus retreated. He did not perform miracles. in certain regions because of the lack of honor, the lack of respect, the lack of he didn't. He did. He came into his own, and his own didn't receive him, so he left. I don't believe that many times we can feel so bad because we didn't. No, he left. It's okay to remove yourself from environments, from rooms, from personality conflicts that's going on in someone else. You can remove yourself. You can listen. Okay, God bless you. I'm going to leave now. I gotta go. I politely put up the church finger in the mall, in the store. Do what you have to do, but you and we can stay and still try to give the best of ourselves to someone or a personality or a person, place, or thing that that openly rejects us, openly disrespects, openly dismisses, openly look beyond you while you're standing right there. You don't have to. And before you leave, you can listen. There's no honor or whatever they're holding on to. All right. I started this session today talking about how depression, the spirit of depression, is in this time of the season. Time. I encourage each and every one of you. I know Black Friday is coming up on this Friday, and this is super time to buy and get deals. I encourage every person, adult man, adult woman, husband, wife, father, mother, be responsible to your bills. Be responsible to the dime on the dollar, the 10% that God had given you. Be responsible to manage what God has blessed you with. For many parents, we feel that we have to give our kids what we didn't receive. When the reality is, this is a different day, different time, and these kids are provided for all year round. Their birthday, this is my personal opinion, their birthday should be huge. Get this in your spirit. Your sons and daughters, nieces and nephews' birthday should be a big deal. Their born date, their birthday should be huge. So let's work on that. Make birthdays starting in January all the way up to December of 2026. Make it huge, the best of your ability. Make it exciting. That way, when the birth of Christ comes, the gift that Jesus wants us to give is benevolence. I was hungry, you didn't feed me. That's a gift. Naked, you didn't clothe me. That's a gift. Thirsty, you didn't give me nothing to drink. That's a gift. I was I was sick, you didn't visit me. That's a gift. Prison, you didn't see about me. That was a gift. I was a stranger. You didn't take me in. Those are the gifts. This is the time and season where it's about where our passion for those areas, those 6 areas, are to be emboldened, are to be strengthened, so that we can go out and execute the will of the Father. That's our purpose as a group, as a people, as a flock, as sheep. That's our purpose. Why he came. He didn't come that we might be depressed. And there are people who are depressed right now. He didn't come for that. He did not come for that. Peace on earth, goodwill toward men. That was the resounding message, one of the resounding messages of Christ coming. He came 30 years later. John the Baptist said, "Now behold the Lamb of God who cometh to take away the sins of the world." That's the second part and the second observance that we as Christians, as believers of Christ, follow and observe. The coming of Christ, death, burial, resurrection of Christ. We call it Resurrection Sunday. Some call it Easter Sunday. But those two purposes are what we are to value as believers and Christians. Not to monetize it, not to merchandise it. Frosty is going to melt, Rudolph is a roadkill, and Santa is fictitious. Peter Cottontail hopping down the bunny trail, the chocolate Cadbury eggs, Easter clothes has nothing to do with the resurrection of Christ. Let's target ourselves and our focus on the message, the gift and the giver, right? That's our target. That's our focus. So we're going to lift ourselves up as we get ready to leave this podcast, as we get ready to leave this this session rather. We're going to we're going to we're going to pick ourselves up as empaths, as people of light, people who are who have a healthy EQ and IQ, people who are introverted and extroverted, or both. You got this. You got this. God is with every man and every woman who's experiencing any level of grief for the first time, second, third, fourth time, maybe a second year going through without mom, dad, or someone who you loved. Maybe your third year, fourth year, or fifth year. God will give you beauty for the ashes and the oil of joy for your mourning. I believe it. But grief is in different spaces, different places, right? For people. So we're sensitive, right? Sensitive to what's going on in someone's world, even though they look and they're projecting the trauma response called fine, FINE. I'm okay when we know they're not. And we're not going to force ourselves upon them. We just pray for her, pray for him, check on them, give soft check-ins. You all right? All right. Thinking about you. Love you. Text messages like that, phone calls like that. Many times the empath receives a phone call because somebody always wants something. I have a habit, I'm just telling you this, of calling people just because. Calling leaders, hey man, what's going on? You all right? Just because. Don't want no money, don't need a number, don't need a resource. Do you know anybody who can do this? You know, no. How are you? If someone's life is being exposed publicly, if they're going through something, a divorce, if they're going through a breakup, if they're going through something that's humiliating, check on them. Go to them, call them, not to get the gossip, not to get the real deal, what's going on. How are you? Let them know you're there. Give soft check-ins. All right. That's my spiritual advice, my mental advice, my heart's felt advice and counsel. And I would that we would practice this. All right. Listen, I love every one of you. This fifth Sunday is Family and Friends Day at the City of Life. It's Friend Fam. And we are going to have some fun on this fifth Sunday. And then of course, first Sunday, and then December 14th, they are celebrating myself combined together at the Waterbury campus at 11:30. Overseer Overseer Howard. Doris Howard is going to be presenting and sharing. She's a preacher teacher. I invite everyone out to meet me on my born day, even though my date of birth is the 12th of December. Right? Somebody gonna say it's Sagittarius season. Oh God, all these signs, seasons. I crack up when I hear it's Capricorn season, it's Libra season, it's Virgo season, all that, right? And I don't shun that because what we don't understand, we tend to be against. All right. And we can talk about that and have a whole session on those in the days, weeks, and months to come. All right. Have an amazing day. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. And enjoy your family. Don't forget you're going in. Hey, Corey, you're going in with some more strength, some more understanding of who you are. Re-listen to this podcast, this session, all right? So you'll have a further understanding. Those who are in our Zoom room, if you don't do yourself, do me a favor, go on to the social media page and click and share this message today. God bless you. Blessings to all and be well. Stay grateful.